the spotlight caught them. The music just stopped. And for 19 years, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, they were the Hollywood love story, weren't they? The one everyone thought would, actually last forever.
Yeah, they really seemed like the exception.
Totally. But then, boom, September 29th, 2025. The news breaks. And the real shock, it wasn't just that it ended.
No, not at all.
It was finding out the whole separation, the whole thing, was managed, negotiated, legally buttoned up on this, incredibly precise timeline, weeks before we knew anything.
Beneath the surface of what looked like sudden heartbreak, a really strategic battle was already playing out.
This is the story of Nicole Kidman fighting back against what the headlines were calling Keith's mind games. And honestly proving she was maybe 3 steps ahead the entire time.
Welcome to Starscope Report. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Jordan. We're the show that digs into the Hollywood drama, the music industry shakeups, all those viral scandals. We go deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we are definitely diving deep into this Kidman-Urban split. It's fascinating.
Okay, so let's start with the big one, the thing that flips the whole narrative.
You mean the timing?
Exactly. Let's call it the 4-month plan. Why the Kidman-Urban split was anything but sudden. Because the public saw, well, chaos, right? A total maelstrom of reports flying everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. Conflicting stories, sources contradicting each other. But behind the scenes, it was surprisingly orderly, a very deliberate unwinding.
Let's walk through that timeline, because the details we've got are pretty specific. It starts way back, early summer 2025.
Right. That's when they effectively stopped living together. He moves into a separate place in Nashville. She's already in London filming Practical Magic 2.
So the separation wasn't this big dramatic moment. It was just geography initially. They were already living apart.
Which makes what happens next even more interesting. Fast forward to late August 2025. Kidman does that big Vogue interview.
Ah, yes, the interview.
And she drops that line about life not always going in the direction you expect. At the time, it sounded kind of philosophical, maybe a bit reflective.
But looking back now...
Oh, it's totally strategic. She's softening the ground, giving everyone her unofficial statement a whole month before the actual announcement. Very calculated.
Okay, but hang on. The really mind-blowing part, the bit that shows just how much control was involved, is August 29th and September 6th.
Yes. Crucial dates. This is when they pre-sign the negotiated parenting plan.
Pre-sign. They legally sorted out the kids, the logistics, everything related to the separation, weeks before anyone outside their inner circle had a clue.
And then, only after all that is locked down, does she officially file for divorce on September 30th, citing irreconcilable differences.
That sequence, that specific order of events, it just completely contradicts the idea that this was some messy, sudden implosion.
It really does. It shows this deliberate, protracted unwinding. I mean, you could call it a masterclass in managing a high-profile crisis, couldn't you?
It really feels like it. Who manages a heartbreak with, a legal project plan?
Well, apparently Nicole Kidman does. It's impressive, in a way. This level of calculated control is something else.
It certainly sets a precedent. But it makes you wonder, okay, if it was this planned, what actually caused it? What was the real reason behind this meticulously planned ending?
Now that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer seems to involve a blockbuster movie role and maybe a certain 28-year-old co-star.
Ooh, okay. We need to unpack the explosive baby girl factor. Stick around for that.
Yeah, and if you're finding these Hollywood strategies as fascinating as we do, maybe hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next deep dive.
All right, we're back on Starscope Report. Before the break, we talked about the incredibly strategic timeline of the Kidman-Urban split.
Yeah, the 4-month plan that proved it was anything but sudden.
But why the plan? What was the core issue? That brings us to our next big point, the baby girl factor. Keith Urban's discomfort and the Maggie Bao speculation.
Right. Sources suggest the fundamental problem was a massive shift in the marriage dynamic. For years, Kidman was seen as the supportive anchor, right? Especially during Urban's past struggles. His touring schedule basically set the pace for the family.
She was there, holding down the fort.
Exactly. But then came her huge professional comeback. This major industry reclamation, as some called it. Suddenly, the whole dynamic flipped.
The question became, whose career dictates things now?
Precisely. Insiders started whispering about a critical lack of reciprocity, the support she'd given him. Apparently, it wasn't coming back her way when her career took off. The unspoken agreement, it seems, was kind of broken.
And the flashpoint for all this tension, according to multiple reports, was her role in that 2024 erotic thriller, Baby Girl.
Ah, Baby Girl, yeah. Where she plays a CEO having an affair with a much younger intern played by Harris Dickinson.
And she was surprisingly open about it in interviews, wasn't she? Talking about a sexual reawakening, even saying she was so turned on by Dickinson that they apparently had to pause production.
I mean, yeah, pretty candid stuff. And apparently that candor, maybe the role itself, created a lot of friction at home. Sources said Urban was just tired of hearing her rave about it.
And he disliked the film.
Reportedly, yes. And he was noticeably absent from all the premieres, the promotional events, all of it.
So the Baby Girl conflict wasn't just about some steamy scenes. It was more like a proxy war for the shifting power in the marriage.
That's a good way to put it. It symbolized the whole struggle. And remember her history, stepping up during his rehab and career struggles. Now, when she's hitting this massive peak, the support allegedly wasn't there from his side.
And we saw hints of this publicly, right?
But,
The infamous Australian radio call in July 2025.
Oh, yeah. Where he reportedly just hung up when they asked about her baby girl scenes. His team blamed technical difficulties, but the producers felt pretty strongly it was deliberate.
A public glimpse of that private discomfort.
Totally. And while Kidman was laying the groundwork with her Vogue piece, Urban took a different approach. No official statements, just non-verbal communication.
How so?
Through his High and Alive World Tour, first thing he did, took off his wedding ring, very public signal. But beyond that, silence. He basically created this narrative vacuum.
And nature abhors a vacuum, especially in Hollywood gossip.
You got it. And that vacuum was immediately filled with speculation about his 25-year-old band member, Maggie Bao.
Right. That blew up online. What triggered that specifically?
It was an Instagram clip Bao posted. It showed Urban performing his song, The Fighter, but he apparently changed the lyrics. Instead of, "Baby, I'll be your fighter," he sang something like, "Maggie, I'll be your guitar player."
Oh, wow. Okay. That's not subtle.
Not subtle at all. And Kidman's camp, or sources close to her, immediately framed it as a betrayal. It just perfectly fueled this narrative.
The narrative being the accomplished woman, the one who supported her partner through thick and thin, gets sidelined the moment she becomes, what, too powerful or too provocative?
Exactly. It's a classic, culturally resonant story. And because Urban didn't say anything definitive, Kidman's side could shape that narrative almost uncontested. It guaranteed public sympathy for her.
His silence basically let her write the story.
Pretty much. His unspoken signals were completely drowned out. So if Keith was sending messages through his guitar, Nicole Kidman's response was like a full-scale professional declaration.
Her new direction wasn't just personal, it was massive professionally. 6 TV shows, a blockbuster movie, a huge fashion deal.
Which brings us to our final segment, how she turned this divorce into potentially the biggest rebranding move of her career. We'll reveal the Compose CEO's final moves right after this. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Start Scope Report. We've covered the strategic split and the career tensions boiling beneath the surface. Now let's look at Nicole Kidman's response.
And it wasn't just a response, it was an offensive, a massive, forward-facing professional and personal campaign. This is our final insight, the Composed CEO, how Nicole Kidman transformed divorce into a massive business rebranding.
Instead of retreating, she leaned in. She basically took the source of the conflict, her booming career success, and made it the engine driving her recovery and her public image.
It started with that Vogue interview, didn't it? Strategically published October 8th, right after the filing.
Yeah, and it wasn't about victimhood at all.
Yeah.
She framed herself as this wise and seasoned navigator dealing with life's challenges. It was a sophisticated repositioning. From wife back to singular, resilient icon.
And the professional blitz that followed was just staggering. You mentioned the projects. Let's list them. There's Practical Magic 2, obviously huge buzz around that.
Huge.
Then the TV slate, 6 series she is involved in, including Lioness getting renewed for season 3. The announcement came literally the day after she filed for divorce.
The timing. You can't make this stuff up. It's impeccable.
Right. And Big Little Lies 23 season 3, Scarpetta. Margot's got money troubles. She's not just acting, she's producing. She's building an empire.
And then came the brand master stroke, October 6th, less than a week after filing.
Chanel, named the new global ambassador for Chanel.
Which is just perfect alignment, isn't it? Linking her new chapter with a brand that screams elegance, power, female empowerment.
It's incredibly savvy branding, and even her public appearances felt curated. First big outing was the Amphar Gala, pure professionalism, head held high.
Then just days later, Paris Fashion Week, but with her daughters. A powerful image of maternal strength moving forward.
And you can't ignore the cultural shorthand. The media went nuts over her divorce bangs. It's like this classic symbol of rebirth, right? A visual cue that she's starting fresh.
It all just clicks together. But, and this is crucial, none of this seamless public pivot, this rebranding, would work so flawlessly without the financial architecture underneath it all.
Ah, yes. The legal deep dive. This is where you see the real extent of the pre-planning. It wasn't just emotional or logistical, it was deeply financial.
The documents basically prove they operated like independent businesses, even while married for 19 years. Think about this. Virtually no joint assets.
It's wild, all that global real estate, held in separate trusts, LLCs, other entities. There was literally nothing to fight over asset-wise. It was already divided.
And so no messy public battle over houses or money.
None. The agreement also had a mutual waiver of alimony they both earned significantly. And the clincher, Urban prepaid all his child support obligations up front. Clean slate.
Wow. So this is like the new playbook for conscious uncoupling for the super rich, isn't it? Minimize risk, protect the brand, avoid the public mudslinging.
Absolutely. It prioritizes control and stability over everything else. She didn't just react to the change, she engineered the transition.
She basically turned a personal crisis into a strategic launchpad. She's not just half of a power couple anymore. She's positioned as the singular self-sustaining force. Built it, financed it, and rolled it out flawlessly.
The narrative control is complete. Nicole Kidman authored the story of this breakup, chapter and verse, which leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it?
Yeah. You have to wonder, will Keith Urban's side of the story, his more muted, nonverbal narrative, ever really register with the public?
Or has Kidman's perfectly composed, professionally turbocharged story already set the definition of this split in stone? Something for you to think about.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.